$28.
Two problems with that.
Yes.
First, we're not paying them $13,000, we're paying them $9,600. Second, that population includes children in convicts. We're excluding those people from the system. That's what the motion says.
Yes, but however, still, even if it does not require $4 trillion, it is still going to be universal. Therefore, it would increase somewhat of taxes. Therefore, it would affect businesses.
No, we're saying that it is not necessary to increase taxes. That's what we've been saying the entire time.
I believe that's
So many speeches already. Because no one else perfected. I feel like they had perfect.
Okay, there's two levels of this debate. Going to be the first level about the feasibility argument that has been going on back and forth, and second is going to be cost benefit. Let's go over quickly that first over our case. With these said, that first of all, replacing the current welfare programs, everything with the $9,000 plan that they provide is a totally legit plan and it's possible. But here's what I'm telling you right now: is that the before welfare actually gives you more money. It gives the poor more money than their plan that they give you. Before, they have $60,000 per family, which means around $30,000 per adult. As we said in our evidence, $28,000 around per adult, which means that right now they're giving $9,000 per adult. This is not enough, definitely nowhere near enough what we have for our welfare program, which means we're giving more money to the poor with the current welfare program. But then even on top of that, they tell you when they get rid of this, they're gonna cut Medicaid, all these programs. I'm telling you right now, what these programs actually give you is going to be a group bargaining. A government allows for group bargaining for Medicaid when you have millions of people bunched together under low income and give it to the insurance company. They're gonna lose millions of customers if they don't agree to the government's demands. But now you separate these people into individuals, and now they have to bargain for their own health care, which means that the price is going to skyrocket. They actually don't have any power, no bargaining power over these, which means that it's going to hurt them even more. Then to our second contention, they try to tell you that they can actually, the $10,000 is definitely, yes, not enough, and therefore they're going to work more to actually sustain that. But we tell you that currently, people can work at $13 an hour for example, in the United States, $13 an hour, and still get $28,000 of benefits in welfare per month. This is per parent. We can clearly see that this is so much more than what they propose of $9,000 and a minimum wage income. This is so much more towards the poor. It's exactly why we have to keep welfare. And on top of that, when you actually do UBI, you're actually spreading the money that's going into welfare among the rich as well. This is the harm we're saying here. This is why welfare is so much better than UBI, and this is why you must oppose. Thank you.
Korean celebrity before she got plastic surgery. But she got so pretty after she got plastic surgery.
Thank you. That's 35 seconds. Oh, yeah. Thank you.
So first I would like to, so I will summarize today's pro case by first reiterating our 3 points, which is that 1, the status quo fails to save the vulnerable, 2, the increased autonomy, and 3, empowerment of the individual that will be available through the implementation of UBI. So first I would like to start by saying, well, first of all, they mentioned how right now, even if you have a if you make $13 an hour, that they would still be able to receive $28,000 per person. And we checked that source and we saw that it values to $28,000, but then these are things that we mentioned in our contention. So things that, this is in like housing and food stamps, things that they cannot use for anything else. So they mentioned as if it was like cash given to them as $28,000, but no, this is talking about things that value up to $20,000, whereas we're giving them $9,600 that we say, okay, you can use on whatever you think you need for your specific household, and therefore we believe that their case for their warrant for that is not valid. And also they mentioned how costs are too high. And we've mentioned in our actual study, and we have the Office of Management and Business and also on the US Census Bureau, and we did the proper calculations and we saw that without any tax increases, we can have $9,600 insured to every citizen who pays taxes over 18 years old. And so because of this, all the sub-points that they mentioned about what happens if costs are too high are invalid, and they have failed to address how the current system addresses people that fall through the cracks. The people, this is the means tested requirement, this is how much you need income. The people who are $1 above that, in the current system, you don't receive any benefits. Whereas in our world, in the pro world, we do receive benefits no matter the condition, and this unconditional characteristic is what we're really trying to advocate as the pro side, because it empowers individuals to have a say in the economy, and also because no one will fall through the cracks. Thank you.
Should we do it standing up?
You're fine. Okay.
Can we get the first question? Sure. Okay, so previously in the first crossfire, it's been a while, but you agreed that the UBI was meant to solving poverty, right?
No, we never said that. UBI is not only, we mentioned specifically in our contentions that UBI that's not the sole purpose of UBI. We never said that. We said
No,
it helps.
When I asked you in the crossfire, you specifically told me that it was meant to help the poor.
Yes, we say that it will help the poor, but also have other benefits to it.
That's not solely the purpose for it.
But let me, can I ask a follow-up question?
Okay, sure.
Okay, if the program is considered towards helping the poor and other things, wouldn't the stigma still remain because you're talking about how this program is gearing towards helping these people?
Okay, this is actually something that was, I was hoping that you bring up. So the social stigma, you said that now with unconditional UBI, that people will all have social stigma. That's not the point. Social stigma happens because there's a difference between the people
We never
who
said
need
that
it.
everybody's going to have social stigma.
Oh, that's what your
No, we're saying that the
second
people
speaker said.
who were, no, what we meant was that the people who were scared to come up when welfare was actually having the social stigma, people who were afraid to come up, now is actually going to be forced to be actually come up, and it's going to be the target of the new social stigma that the UBI is going to bring. Was that a question?
No, to continue with what I was answering, what I'm trying to say is that stigma happens because there's a difference. There's a sort of like a discrimination against people who need it and people who don't need it. Whereas in UBI, everybody receives this. And why would there be stigma if everybody gets the same treatment under the system?
Here's a quick example. When I lived in America, people made fun of me for being short. Now that I'm in Japan, everyone's short, people no longer make fun of me. Same deal.
Talking about that, but there is a difference, right? Okay, so are you saying that the poor pays exactly the same amount to fund the UBI as rich people?
No,
you're
they
saying that's the
receive,
difference, right?
the same amount, which is what people
No, that's not my question. Or are you saying that the poor people are paid the same amount of taxes to fund the UBI?
No, they do not.
Okay, so there is a difference, right?
Well, you're talking about
Yes or no? Is there a difference or not?
No.
There isn't a
No,
difference.
in terms of how much they receive and how much subsidy they get from the government, there is no difference whatsoever. That's the definition of universal basic income, that it's universal.
Yeah. Would you like a question or can I take another one?
Okay, so you mentioned how there's the costs are too high, but we've repeatedly mentioned how in our calculations that doesn't add up. So what do you still think that the point is valid?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay,
Look at
so
these
follow-up question. You gave a couple of examples of professionals saying that it'll cost a lot of money, right? Does this include children? Does this account for the fact that we are only planning to give them $9,600? Yes or no?
No, but how much are we going to take out of that for the children? Humans.
It's the population we showed you. It's like 20-something% of the US population are children. We're going to be spreading it to less people, therefore more money for the individuals.
Thank you.